Officer Mike Daniels stood firmly at the entrance of Central Park, his flashlight casting a bright beam on the man sitting on the bench. "You can't stay here," Mike said sternly. The man looked up, surprised and hurt. Just then, a crowd began to gather, and Officer Daniels realized something shocking. This man was the newly elected mayor of Springfield. What would Officer Daniels do next? In the friendly town of Springfield, Officer Mike Daniels took pride in his role as a police officer. Every day he patrolled the streets, making sure everyone followed the rules and stayed safe. Mike was known for being strict but fair, always keeping a watchful eye on the community he cared so much about. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun began to set and the leaves turned golden, Mike was on his usual patrol near Central Park. The park was a favorite spot for many residents to relax, play, and enjoy the beautiful scenery. As Mike walked along the path, he noticed a man sitting alone on a bench. The man looked tired, and his clothes were old and worn out. He wasn't causing any trouble, just sitting quietly and watching the ducks in the pond. "Good evening, sir," Mike greeted the man politely. "Do you need any help?" The man looked up and gave a weak smile. "I'm just taking a break," he replied softly. Mike glanced around and saw that the park was closing soon. He felt a pang of sympathy but remembered his duty. "I'm sorry, but the park is closing. You need to leave now." The man nodded sadly and slowly got up to leave. Mike watched him walk away, feeling a bit guilty but relieved that the situation was calm. He continued his patrol, hoping the rest of his shift would be uneventful. The next morning, news spread quickly through Springfield. The newly elected mayor, Thomas Reed, had been seen loitering in the park the night before. Many people were surprised, as Mayor Reed was known for his busy schedule and dedication to the city. Rumors started circulating about why the mayor had been there alone. Meanwhile, Mike couldn't stop thinking about the encounter from the night before. He wondered why the mayor had been sitting alone in the park. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Mike decided to keep an eye out and gather more information. Weeks passed, and Springfield thrived under Mayor Reed's leadership. The city saw improvements in parks, schools, and public services. Despite his demanding role, Mayor Reed always made time for the people, listening to their concerns and working tirelessly to make the city better. One sunny afternoon, Mike was patrolling near the park again. As he walked by, he noticed a familiar figure sitting on the same bench. It was Mayor Reed, looking contemplative as he gazed at the fountain. Mike felt a mix of surprise and curiosity. He approached the mayor with a friendly smile. "Good afternoon, Mayor Reed. Enjoying the park?" Mayor Reed looked up and smiled warmly. "Hello, Officer Daniels. Yes, I like to come here to think and unwind." Mike nodded, feeling a sense of camaraderie. "It's a beautiful place. I remember seeing you here a few weeks ago." Mayor Reed chuckled. "Yes, that was me. I needed some time away from the hustle and bustle of city meetings." They chatted for a while about the park and the recent developments in Springfield. Mike felt a newfound respect for the mayor, realizing that even someone as busy as Mayor Reed needed moments of peace and solitude. Later that evening, during a city council meeting, an urgent call came in about a disturbance at Central Park. Mike was called to respond immediately. When he arrived, he saw Mayor Reed already there, standing beside the man from the previous encounter. The crowd had gathered, and tension filled the air. "Officer Daniels," Mayor Reed greeted him, his tone calm but serious. "This is Mr. Jenkins. He's been struggling lately and needed a place to rest." Mike felt a wave of relief and embarrassment. He had threatened the city's new mayor without knowing who he was. He looked at Mr. Jenkins, seeing a man who just needed a helping hand. "I'm so sorry, Mayor Reed," Mike said sincerely. "I didn't know who you were. I was just doing my job." Mayor Reed placed a reassuring hand on Mike's shoulder. "It's okay, officer. We all have moments where we need support. Let's work together to help Mr. Jenkins and others who might be in need." The room softened as Mayor Reed spoke, and the tension eased. Mike felt grateful for the mayor's understanding and wisdom. From that day on, he vowed to be more compassionate and considerate in his duties. As weeks turned into months, Mike and Mayor Reed collaborated on various community projects. They organized events to support the homeless, created programs for at-risk youth, and worked tirelessly to improve the lives of Springfield's residents. Their partnership became a symbol of unity and progress in the city. One winter night, a severe storm hit Springfield. Heavy rain and strong winds caused flooding in several areas, and Central Park was one of the hardest hit. The community came together, with Mayor Reed and Officer Daniels leading the efforts to rescue those trapped and provide shelter for those in need. During the rescue operations, Mike and Mayor Reed worked side by side, coordinating with volunteers and ensuring everyone's safety. Amidst the chaos, Mike saw the mayor's unwavering dedication and leadership, further solidifying his respect and admiration. After the storm, Springfield began to rebuild, stronger and more united than ever. The bond between the mayor and the police force grew, fostering a sense of trust and cooperation throughout the city. Mike realized that misjudging someone, even the mayor, could lead to valuable lessons and meaningful relationships. One spring morning, as the city celebrated its recovery, Mayor Reed invited Officer Daniels to a special ceremony honoring the efforts of the police force and community volunteers. During his speech, Mayor Reed highlighted the importance of understanding and supporting one another, sharing the story of how a simple misunderstanding had led to a stronger, more compassionate leadership. Sometimes, Mayor Reed said, "It takes a moment of misjudgment to truly see the heart of a person." I am grateful for Officer Daniels and his dedication to our city. Together we can achieve great things. Mike felt a surge of pride and humility, knowing that he had played a part in the positive changes sweeping through Springfield. He looked out at the crowd, seeing faces filled with hope and gratitude, and knew that their journey was far from over. But just as the celebrations were in full swing, an unexpected challenge emerged that would test the strength of their newfound unity and the resilience of the community they had built together. A few months later, Springfield was preparing for its annual Harvest Festival, a beloved tradition that brought the community together with music, food, and games. This year, however, the festival faced a significant threat proposal from a large corporation to take over the parkland, where the festival was held. The corporation planned to build a commercial complex, which would not only end the festival, but also change the character of the neighborhood. Mayor Reed and Officer Daniels knew they had to act quickly to save the park and preserve the festival. They rallied the community, organizing meetings and protests to oppose the corporation's plans. The battle to save Central Park became the most significant challenge Springfield had ever faced. As the opposition grew, tensions ran high. The corporation used its influence to sway public opinion, promising jobs and economic growth. Meanwhile, the community remained steadfast, united by their love for the park and the tradition of the Harvest Festival. Mike found himself at the forefront of the movement, using his position as a police officer to ensure peaceful protests and maintain order during heated debates. One evening, as Mike was patrolling near Central Park, he noticed a large crowd gathered outside the corporate office building. The protest was escalating, and emotions were running high. Mike stepped forward to address the crowd, hoping to calm the situation. "Everyone, please stay calm," Mike called out. "We need to discuss this peacefully and find a solution together." But amidst the crowd, he saw Mayor Reed being cornered by a group of corporate representatives. They were aggressive, accusing the mayor of standing in the way of progress. Mike rushed to the scene, trying to mediate the situation. "Mayor Reed, please step back," Mike urged, placing himself between the mayor and the aggressors. But before he could react, one of the representatives pushed Mayor Reed, and Mike instinctively reached out to protect him. The two men struggled briefly, and in the commotion, Mayor Reed fell to the ground, hitting his head on a nearby bench. The crowd gasped, and chaos erupted. Mike quickly assessed the situation, helping Mayor Reed to his feet and calling for medical assistance. The incident sent shockwaves through the community, sparking outrage and concern. The corporation's aggressive tactics were now exposed, and public support for the park grew stronger than ever. As Mayor Reed recovered, Mike reflected on the events that had transpired. He realized how quickly misunderstandings and misjudgments could escalate into serious conflicts. Determined to prevent such incidents in the future, Mike committed himself to fostering better communication and understanding within the community. With renewed determination, Mayor Reed and Officer Daniels intensified their efforts to save Central Park. They organized more community events, gathered petitions, and worked with local media to highlight the importance of the park and the Harvest Festival. The movement gained momentum, attracting support from neighboring towns and even national attention. One day, a breakthrough occurred. A prominent environmental group took notice of Springfield's fight to save the park and offered their support. With their help, Mayor Reed and Officer Daniels secured additional funding and resources to strengthen their campaign against the corporation's plans. As the final battle loomed, the community prepared for a decisive showdown. A public hearing was scheduled where both sides would present their arguments. The entire city was abuzz with anticipation, knowing that the outcome would determine the future of Central Park and the beloved Harvest Festival. On the day of the hearing, Mayor Reed took the stage, delivering a passionate speech about the importance of community, tradition, and preserving green spaces for future generations. Officer Daniels stood beside him, sharing his first-hand experiences of how the park had positively impacted the lives of Springfield's residents. The corporation presented their case, emphasizing economic growth and job creation. However, the overwhelming support from the community, bolstered by the environmental group's advocacy, swayed public opinion. In the end, the hearing concluded with a unanimous decision to preserve Central Park and uphold the Harvest Festival tradition. The victory was celebrated throughout Springfield, with Mayor Reed and Officer Daniels hailed as heroes. The community had come together, overcoming misjudgments and challenges to protect what they cherished most. Mike felt a deep sense of pride and fulfillment, knowing that his efforts had made a lasting impact. In the aftermath, Springfield flourished as a united and resilient community. Central Park became a symbol of their strength and unity, hosting the annual Harvest Festival with even greater enthusiasm. Mayor Reed continued to lead with compassion and wisdom, while Officer Daniels became a beloved figure, known for his dedication and understanding. The bond between the mayor and the police force grew stronger, fostering a sense of trust and cooperation that permeated the entire city. Mike realized that misjudging someone could lead to valuable lessons and meaningful relationships. He had learned the importance of looking beyond appearances and understanding the true character of those around him. One summer afternoon, as Mike was enjoying a quiet moment in Central Park, he saw Mayor Reed sitting on their old bench, watching children play. Mike approached him with a smile. "Nice day, isn't it, Mayor Reed?" Mike greeted warmly. Mayor Reed looked up and nodded. "It sure is, Officer Daniels. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome for our park." They sat together in comfortable silence, reflecting on the journey they had undertaken. The challenges they faced had only strengthened their resolve and deepened their friendship. Mike felt grateful for the lessons he had learned and the positive changes they had achieved together. As the sun set over Springfield, casting a golden glow over Central Park, Mike knew that the city was in good hands. The experience had taught him that true leadership and community spirit could overcome any obstacle, and he was proud to be a part of it all.